All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world. The name of this channel is The African Times, and I'm Thomas. All right, we're going to jump right in, everybody. Just our good brother, Reggie Jackson, the baseball player, made some interesting comments a few days ago. We did a previous video about it, some other comments he made, but these are some new comments, give you a little light on, shed a little light on how our good American coaches felt about our players, people that look like me and you, and revealed some very good information. Here, let me let you listen to it. Hold on.
The most impactful memory I ever had at Rickwood Field. It's tough to hear if you're from Alabama. At the same time, it came from a friend. He never apologized for it, but he was a friend. I'd hit 2 triples in the game, and I could run like a deer. After the game, a few people were around. Charlie Finley had come to that game. His son, Paul Bryant, was there. Paul Bryant was there. Alf Van Hoos was a sports writer here in this town. And Bear Bryant. And I was getting changed, finishing a shower, putting my shirt on. And Bear Bryant walked up to me and paid me a compliment. 1967. And he said to the group, "This is just the kind of nigger boy that we need in order to compete with Bo, Woody, Ara, and Johnny Robinson of USC, Ara Parsegian of Notre Dame, Bo Schembechler of Michigan, and Joe Paterno of Penn State." He meant it as a compliment. He said, if we don't get one of these, we're not going to be able to compete with them. And about a few months later, USC came here with Sam Cunningham and beat Alabama 42-10. I got called up to the major leagues, and Bear Bryant came up to Charlie Finley's to Chicago in one of my first games and watched me play my first game. 21 years later, when I retired, I played my last game in Chicago there, and Bear Bryant came to see me play my last game. And so that friendship lasted until he passed, but that was the most impactful thing that happened to me in Rickwood Field.
All right. Okay, so you got a chance to hear our good brother, Reggie Jackson. There are a couple of things that come to mind, very educational things for us as a people to kind of understand the real impact of the story he just described. One of the things, and in no particular order, but just one of the things that come to mind is you heard our good brother say that Bear Bryant, for those of you who may not know, he's a legendary college football coach for Alabama. Basically, he said Bear Bryant, he seen put his hand around him as if like, yeah, Bear Bryant said, we got to get us, this is the kind of good in, basically, both in and boy, but we'll let the boy slide because we understand young, at that point, college students, and I don't even know if and we may not need to let it slide. He may have been a man. I think he was in the minor leagues at that time. I can't remember. But calling him the N-word, knowing that it was the wrong thing to do, and if all of you who want to say, well, because this is an argument they throw up. They say, well, you have to understand it was the times and that's how people were. He didn't mean anything by it. Now, when you take that argument and you apply it in a similar way that brother Reggie Jackson did, you heard Reggie Jackson say, well, he was a friend of mine. He put his arms around me and he said that, but he's a friend of mine. Then he went on to explain that this friend of his never apologized. And then time went on. At the end of his career, I don't know how long Reggie Jackson played, but he played a good while. So you got to be talking at least 10 years. At least. I think it might be close to 15 or 20. He said at the end of his career, Bear Bryant showed up at his game and said, yeah, okay, supported him at the end of the game. And he said he never apologized and that they were friends. This is the point. He said he never apologized. So those people who posed that argument, oh, that was just the times. This is an example of that. So back then, it was okay for him to say that to him, use the N-word, call him that. Now, if that was just the times, 10, 15 years went by, these highly intelligent beings, these leaders, these people, they don't develop, improve, advance, become more civilized over time to recognize that, okay, well, hey, back then, brother, I said that to you. I shouldn't have said that. It was inappropriate. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. They can't do that. Now, Reggie Jackson is telling you, this is his own personal story. He's telling you the guy didn't apologize. Now, for me personally, I don't care whether he apologized or not. That's not the point. The point is, you have a people who will use every justification for their inappropriate, abusive behavior. Now, that's just point one, that the comment was made years earlier. They were still friends, he says, and that the guy came at the end of his career years later, never brought it up. Now, clearly this brother is saying he never apologized, so he must have had some thought or feeling about it because he brought it up. Okay, so he doesn't apologize. So all of that nonsense about, well, it's just a period of time. No, I give you an example. I tell you again, if I break in your house, I rape your wife, I rape your daughter, I abuse your son, then 10 years go by, 15 years go by, we good now? Is that really the kind of logic and reasoning that you're going by? No, I don't do that. It's different. It's just a word. No, words have power. The very fact that you people live in America and go by this Constitution, what is it? It's power through the words. That's why you call it a Constitution and a Declaration of Independence. You didn't just say it. No, you wrote it. You put it in words so that people can repeat it because the words have meaning and value and power. Okay, so let's let that go on by. Okay, yeah. So now the other issue is, you notice he said, well, I'm talking about Reggie, our good brother, Reggie Jackson. No issue with him. This is an educational opportunity for us to learn from life experience. So our good brother Reggie said that they're friends. When he said it to Reggie, they were friends. Reggie said he didn't mean anything by it. So I'm just curious. This is a problem. See, me, I have no friends that I desire, that I want near me or around me, who think it's okay and it's cool to use abusive language towards me, abusive attitude, to wrong me, to do something harmful to me or my family. We're not friends. Not me. You're not cool enough with me that, okay, you, no, cause you cool, we cool, so you can call me that. No. No. But this is a part of the psychological violence that has been inflicted upon us as a people, to the point where we will go out publicly and use derogatory language towards ourselves, allow people to use derogatory language to us, and it's cool. And then we have selective memory when it comes to which time is good, which time is bad. I'll give you an example of this, how ridiculous this got. There was a comedy show years ago. Can't remember exactly when, but in this comedy show, on one of these programs, this is why, for me, it's very dangerous to have people control that. But this comedy show, there was a comedian, W, and a brother, standing up on the stage together, and the whole joke was that the brother would tell the part of the joke, that's the story part of the joke, and at the punchline of the joke, the N-word was used. But, now wait a minute, maybe I'm getting this wrong. Oh no, the W told the joke. That's what it was. The W told the joke. I believe it was the W. He tells the joke, he talks about all the lines, then we get to the punchline. The punchline is the N-word. So the W dude had a brother standing next to him because the W dude was so-called respecting black people by not using the N-word, but would just have the brother use the N-word. It was something in that vein. And all the people in the audience, all the good brothers and sisters, they just really don't know any better. The W, he wouldn't say the word. He let the brother say the word. Then all the people, yeah! You understand? Foolish. Foolish behavior. Foolish. Consciousness replaced. Pride, dignity, self-esteem removed. So that something which seems so harmless, psychic violence used against us. Remember, like the brother told you, black on black violence in support of white on black violence. Amos Wilson, you need to check that out. Listen, that is a sign, a clear sign that something is wrong with us. No people are doing that. No people are take upon something that obviously now, the connotation of it as we move through time and we evolve and the words have meanings and they derive different meanings as we move on through time. Once it's established and clearly established that something is derogatory, then you don't use that on yourself to describe yourself and your people unless you got some kind of problem. And I'll tell you again, just to get to this, I'm gonna make this point in a visual, because it's stronger if you see it in the visual. But when you give birth to your children, people out here, you, me, everybody, when you do that, beautiful, beautiful black babies born into the world, precious, precious babies. At what age do they become the N-word? What age? Is it at birth? Is it while they're still in the womb? Is it when they become teenagers? Is that a rite of passage? So to be a true man, you have to move into this. No, a beautiful, precious newborn baby. So are they, like Bear Bryant said, N boy? So when our babies are born, they're N babies? Foolishness, man, foolishness. So anyway, we have to learn not to accept the definition of labels given to us by these other people, because it impacts the psychology of the person, the self-esteem of the person. This is not made up. It's real. It's tangible. It's practical. You can feel it. It's real. And you see the result of it. Dyeing your hair, dyeing your skin, straightening your hair. This is the result of the imagery, the words all working together, symbols to damage your psyche. Okay, so let's set that aside. All right, no problem. No problem with that. It's okay, because like you said, he's still his friend. So he's cool with that. And the reference. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, no real importance. But the other point that this brother, Reggie Jackson, that he mentioned with his story about legendary coach Bear Bryant. Bear Bryant said something very important. For the W's, really. But for us too, those of us who still have self-esteem, and it hasn't allowed that self-esteem to be damaged and taken away. And you know what he said? He said black players are superior on the football field. He didn't say it verbatim like that. No, he told you we will not win unless we get one of these. He commodified us. I don't accept that. No, I know that. Yeah, superior athletes. There's no question about that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the point. See, I have self-esteem, so I don't have any problem with saying, yeah, we superior in that. Oh, we superior in quite a bit. And they want to lead you to believe they actually had a whole set of science documents and literature and all this that said, well, we are physically, they hinted at that, physically superior, but we're just mentally inferior. And they released all these books and documents and doctors, and they start studying the genealogy, all of this bunch of lies. But the one thing this brother had to admit that he couldn't lie, he knew, and he told the truth. Then he ran his own test. Scientific, you can call it whatever you want. It's a test. Yeah, he observed that, wow, as these brothers come into the league and they start playing in this game, those people who got the brothers on their team, they're dominating. And if we want to dominate, even if we just want to be competitive, we better get some brothers. Now, he used a different set of words, which again demonstrates his attitude, his value towards us as people, commodified us, one of these. Same way Trump did, remember? My blacks or your blacks or whatever he referred to them, commodified them. So, just to kind of make it a little clearer, he said, Reggie Jackson, that Bear Bryant told him we better get some of these people if we want to compete. And then later, the team that he's talking about from USC, they had a brother on the team. They came over and beat them 42 to something. I can't remember the number, but it doesn't matter. They beat them. And the other teams were winning too when they added brothers. Now, let me tell you something so that you guys understand. There's nothing wrong with us being superior in a particular area, a particular endeavor. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal and natural. Do you think every animal on the planet is equally physically the same? Maybe lions outdo leopards. Cheetahs outrun tigers. Is something wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with it. What would be wrong is to act like it's not true just because it's a cheetah. You're a fool if you fall into these ideas. It's the same silly foolishness you don't see color. Well, okay, if you don't see color, why is the flag red, white, and blue? And another flag red, black, and green. And another flag is yellow, but you don't see color. What, is it invisible? Is my shirt not? No, you're a fool if you follow these things. These things are here to erase your culture and your identity and to confuse you. And this is what we got in that story. It's an educational opportunity for you to understand. Number one, that brother did not change his attitude towards brothers and sisters. I'm talking about Bear Bryant. He didn't change his attitude for 10, 15, 20 years. He probably died with that same attitude. Number two, can choose to be friends with people who use derogatory language towards you if you like. But I would suggest to you that you may want to reconsider that, because that clearly says you have some serious psychological issues that you need to deal with. Number 3, on the football field and on the basketball court, Reggie Jackson, he was on the baseball diamond. It's okay for us to be superior. Track and field, superior. Boxing, superior. You remember when they ran around Tiger Woods on the golf course? What? Superior. See, it's just like you take. I played football for many years. I love it. It's a fantastic sport. I love it. Dangerous. Probably, maybe shouldn't even be played. I don't know the real studies, but I stopped. 1 year college, then I stopped. I'm a little guy. I'm saying this to you so that you understand that the psychological violence imposed on us is not only bullets and guns, it's symbols, images, concepts, ideas. The greatest quarterback ever. From my area, they call him the greatest quarterback ever, Tom Brady. Michigan. Okay. Well, it'll always appear that way. From the time I was a little boy, every time where I grew up, all the W boys, the little bitty boys, they all play quarterback. That's the position they all got that shit. I don't care how good you were as where I live, because it's all white people. Where it didn't matter how good you were. You weren't playing quarterback over no white boy. Now, you think that stopped that there? It started at Little League. You think it ended there? No. They're going to put that person and keep that person because all the majority of the other positions, the majority, and if they want to compete, dominated by brothers. How fast you have to be, how agile you have to be, how athletic you have to be. Can you jump? You understand? Now, that's not to say that you won't have one or two of them that is just really, really good. John Brady is good. I don't have no problem with that. Joe Montana, Peyton Manning. I was a big Peyton Manning fan. No problem. Good. But I understand that these individuals have been given advantages. And these advantages are maintained in a particular way, W quarterbacks, so that the imagery of the leader of men is them. Remember Cam Newton? No, Cam Newton was good. Incredible. Michael Vick too. Warren Moon, y'all probably don't remember him. He was probably in our lifetime, in our generation, he's probably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. This dude was incredible. But you don't really know about him. You ain't seen no highlights. They ain't building no monuments to him. They would, because during his time, they didn't even allow. They were very brazen. They really didn't allow too many black quarterbacks. So he had to play in Canada. Broke all kinds of records over there. Just dominated the league. Won championships. Oh, okay. Now, I'm not here. The purpose of this, for all you people who get confused, the purpose of this is not to say one human being is better than the other. Don't get confused. That's those inferior-minded people who go there with it because they got some deficiency in their self-esteem when they look at us. You can't allow us to be better at anything. No. It's not a comparison of human to human. It's simply a fact that there are individuals who are created that have attributes that another one doesn't. We have melanated skin. You don't. That's a fact. Some have some melanin. Some have darker melanin. Do you understand? So don't get it confused with their concepts and ideas. They'll confuse you. They make you where you really don't understand. No, yes. Yeah, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Well, why? Now, they might find another one. That don't mean that there weren't some guys that can play. Larry Bird, tremendous. Tremendous. And there were others. There's this dude, they used to call him White Chocolate. I don't think he liked the name. But that brother was bad. Jason Williams, I think was his name. Bad. And listen, I'm not getting caught up in the sports of it. That's not the point. What I'm explaining to you is it's okay for us to be dominant in areas. But let me suggest something to you so that you understand fully. It's not just physical. Now, those of you who want to believe, yeah, we good, but we ain't good at thinking. No, we're tremendous at thinking. Don't you understand? There are things in the world that's only invented once. Usually if it's a new invention, it's only invented once. It's the first time. Everything else is a copy. You understand? Copy. So they destroy your history because you invented what? Writing. They're going to give you all kinds of lies. You're going to have all kinds of other people tell you this didn't happen, that happened, well, we did this. No. We have been here longer than anybody. And if you think when we were here, we were just, that's how we communicated, you're a fool. You want to believe everything they tell you because the propaganda they put on you is relentless. Every day, every hour, every second. No, we invented communication, writing, communication. We invented everything that's taking place in society. We invented it. Now, let me tell you something. If I remove from you now, and this is not me, I had to learn this too. Our good brother, Dr. Amos Wilson, explained it, and he explained it very clearly. So I'm just going to share it with you. We're going to go through his book, though. If you get in an accident and you crack your skull open, they repair it, and you lose your memory. You lose all of the thoughts and all of the information that you had in your mind, and you got to start over. You got to learn how to talk. You got to learn how to walk. Why? Because the information is gone. That means you got to rebuild a history of information that you step by step lift your leg up. Okay, now you got to lift it, balance yourself. Okay, all right, move your arms in a position so that you can, maintain an upright position. All of that you have to learn again, and you got to put it in your mind step by step by step, put it all in the pieces like a puzzle so you can learn how to walk again. Now, remember that was already done. But it was removed, so then you lost the ability to do it. And this is what has happened to us as a people. This is what has happened. They've removed those elements from our history that showed our greatness and what we did, and then prevented us from being able to build upon it. And then they took it, built on it, repackaged it, put some vanilla icing on it, and said the cake was made by us. And then they just keep producing and producing, and you still trying to figure out. So now you after a while, you start thinking that cake look good. Who made that cake? Oh, they make cakes? No. So none of it could be done. The Microsoft, the internet, the computers, the Jeff Bezos, all that had to be done through the means of communication, which meant what? That individual or that group of people who invented language, invented the ability to communicate and document things in such a way that that person over there who's never come into contact with this information, never come into contact with you, has now a source to take the knowledge you have and build upon it. All of it's done that way. All of it. Everything is built upon those previous steps, just like math. So anyway, I'm going to get off here, but I just wanted to let you know that, Bear Bryant, legendary Bear Bryant, basically told you that if they would have continued with the discriminatory practices of disallowing, not allowing, preventing, restricting Africans from participating in the sport of collegiate football, I'm just narrowing it because that's what he was doing, then those teams wouldn't have been able to compete. Now, you can't say that about an inferior player. You can't say that about an inferior player, an inferior group of people. And he was clearly talking about a group of athletes, not just one. He said we got to get one of these, and we don't get one of these. And you know, if you look at Alabama's team, they got plenty. Okay? All right, so look, y'all. Just wanted to let you know, hey, be proud. Don't let nobody take that away from you. Remember, yeah, we're superior at many, many things. Thinking too. Information. Go back in history, and they put it in stone so that you can see it forever, that their abilities were there, and they're still there. People are marveling at it right now. Okay? All right, everybody, look, just had to jump in. Love you guys all. Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Send the video. If you watched to the end, because this is the way you're only going to get this part. If you watched, send the video, share the video, like the video if you like. Because I'm concerned when information for us that really deals with us and not the you got to make sure you're politically correct so you don't, all that's a bunch of foolishness. To make sure that the information is getting out, we need to be able to kind of test it a little bit to be able to see, okay, well, I know if you said you shared it. Unless everything I'm saying, if it's just not interesting to you, it's not of any value to you, then it's normal. It won't get any views. But I'm starting to have some concerns about what's really going on. But you can help me with that, and we should, because we have to get the raw information to our people so that we can combat the propaganda that's being placed out relentlessly on our people that makes them desire the attributes of another group. Now, they know that they're doing that. They know that they're doing it. That's why your actors, particularly your actresses, but now the guys, they promote the images that feature their attributes. So if you're a black African person in entertainment, you're going to go blonde. You're going to straighten your hair. You're going to wear a dress. You're going to do all of these things that tell them we value, we admire, and we want and accept your culture, your ideology, your philosophy. That's why they never tell you yours. Okay? All right. So look, y'all. Love you all. Uhuru. Uhuru. Uhuru.